Okay, and we're recording. So, hi guys, my name is Rachel Youngson. A lot of you know me from useplr.com. We do these webinars almost every Tuesday. We try to aim to do them every Tuesday where we share a new aspect of ways to use your PLR. If you are not a member over at usePLR and you have any interest in learning how to use private label rights to grow your business, please feel free to head on over to useplr.com and sign up for any of our free trainings. We have a lot of free gifts over here for you. Also, as a side note, we also run a whole food PLR. So if you're ever looking for any food PLR to get you started, we have all paleo and whole food PLR over here. So today we are going to learn how to use PLR in our sales funnels. And we have Stephanie Watson-Berry here from Berry Publishing, and she is going to show us all of that delicious goodness. Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. I've been really excited about having you come and talk to my people.
This is just my favorite topic. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, you know, sales funnels are so great because like once you get them in place, they can really explode your business. It's like it's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm ashamed to say I'm just now learning the real beauty of sales funnels.
Well, it works for any kind of business, whether you have, you know, a physical product or digital products or a service.
Yeah, yeah. You're so right. I'm going to go ahead and make you the host now, Stephanie.
Okay.
So you will see that come in just a second. And then I will go ahead and mute myself so that you can get started, and I'll jump in and let you know when we have any questions.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out because I don't see anything. Just a minute. Let me click the other.
Sure, sure.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Whoops. I shared the wrong thing. Okay, I got it. I'm going to put this little chat box down so I won't be able to see what you're saying. So, and if anybody can't get those notes, you know, I just put it up last night. So all you do is click the image and it should pop right up. It doesn't download anything. It just goes into another browser, basically. You can also do it on your phone. I tested it out, works fine. So can everybody see it, Rachel?
I can definitely see it.
Okay.
If anybody else is having any issues seeing it, please let me know because I can keep an eye on the chat.
I'm trying to figure out how to get this somewhere else. So. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me, Rachel. Today, you know, I'm going to talk about using your PLR in your funnel. And for some reason, I left the www out on my website, berrypublishing.com. I don't know if it still works or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking, but my name is Stephanie Watson-Berry, and I have a business called Berry Publishing. I do not publish books, though. I named it years ago. It's a bad name, but it works. So that's all that matters. I mostly help PLR companies create their PLR. And then I help people put their PLR to use. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So there we go. So I already gave you that link. You can download the notes here and follow along. Take notes yourself if you happen to still have a printer, which I don't. So that'll work fine. It should work really good for you. So basically what we're going to do today is we're going to go over these 6 steps for using PLR in your funnel. I will go a little bit over some funnel information, but mostly, you know, I'm going to focus on your buyer's journey because that's really the most important factor when you're using PLR in your funnel. You have to understand your buyer's intent. So these are the 6 steps that I use with my clients and that I use for myself when I'm creating my funnels. So these 6 steps, I'm just going to repeat what it says right here on this slide, and then we're going to go over each individually. And the first step is the longest one, the buyer's journey, because it's the most important factor in your funnel development. Because if you don't know your buyer's intent, you won't know what kind of content they want to read. So you have to understand that. And that requires you to do a little bit of research into your audience and to understand that whole buyer's journey. The second step that we're going to go over is choosing the content based on where the audience is in the journey. And then we're going to find that content. And this is a really important thing with PLR. You want to use all the PLR that you buy, right? So you need to know why you're going to use it, and then you go look for it. And that works out better than just buying a bunch of PLR. You have no idea what you're going to do with it, right? So then, of course, we're going to publish the content, because you would be surprised at how many people buy PLR and don't even use it. This is a thing that actually makes PLR such a good deal, is because so many people do buy it, but most of the people do not use it. I'm sure many of you have tons of PLR on your computer hard drives right now that you never use. And I'm positive of that because I've seen it. So the other thing you want to do when you publish any content, whether it's a blog post or a Pinterest post or Instagram or anything, you want to promote it. Because if you don't promote it, nobody's really going to see it. It's not that easy. You know, it's not like, it really was like this in the old days. You could build a little mini website and you could just put a little bit of content on it and you would make a ton of money from Google ads, right? It literally was like having an ATM, but it was terrible for the customer because the customer wants content that they really want, right? So Google's job is to send their customers to the content they really want, not just anything, right? And then of course, as usual, we're going to rinse and repeat and do it all over again. So these are the important steps. So let's talk about a little bit about step one, which is understanding the buyer's journey. And this is actually most of the presentation. Step one is very long because it is so important that you understand that. The reason I have a little kind of a upside down triangle is because, you know, it's a funnel. And we're all familiar, I hope, with funnels. It's the top side is where you put most of your content because you want to attract people, right? That's when you're building their awareness and getting their interest. And then you want to make them consider your product over somebody else's. And that's when they're going to make a decision. And then some people don't include this in their funnel, but I like to include happiness, which is that time after they purchase your product. You want to keep them happy, right? So the buyer's journey, you know, let's go over it again: awareness, interest, consideration, decision, and happiness. And now we're going to talk about each thing. Rachel, am I talking too fast?
No,
Okay.
I'm loving it.
Okay,
You know,
good.
and I'm so excited to see that you put the happiness in there because that's so important.
Oh no. Plus, you know, think about this. When you get people on your list, say you've got to that point where they've bought something from you, it's so much cheaper to get them to buy something else from you than it is to go out and find someone new. I mean, you're still going to keep finding new people, but you know, you want to please those people.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely. Definitely. Like a small group of happy people is invaluable, really.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. It seems like it takes a long time to transition. Okay, so let's explore the buyer's journey a little bit more. So, oh yeah, first I want to talk about, give you a short primer on funnels, just in case anybody's listening or watching later on and they don't really have a big grasp on funnels. It's really simple. You know, you want to build awareness, you want them to consider your product, and then you want to convert them. It doesn't matter if it's a freebie that you're giving away, you know, like a lead magnet. That's still part of, that's a funnel. You know, you have your lead magnet up on the top for, you know, awareness, and then you want them to consider it and you give them all the good reasons to get it, right? And then they convert and they get on your list. But you've got to get the traffic in that awareness area. Does anybody, you know, have questions about this at all, about funnels? Do you understand that it's just a matter of like getting traffic, having something for them to read and look at and convert in some way, like get on your list, share it, follow you on Facebook, follow you on Pinterest, watch your YouTube channel, come to your podcast, whatever that conversion is, It's basically all the same thing. It's just really, this is just broken down like really simple. So let's get back to that buyer's journey, which we already, talked about again. And the reason I'm repeating myself is because it's so important. This buyer's journey and their intent of what they want to do is essential to your success when you're trying to choose the private label rights content that you're going to put in front of them at each stage. So the first stage of the buyer's journey is awareness, like we said. I like to say that at this point, the people might not even know they have a problem, right? They could be, it depends on your niche, they could be a single mother at home with children who can't keep a job because one of her children is sick. And say you have a business where you teach them how to become a virtual assistant from home. You need to know those things about that audience. And then you need to kind of, it sounds terrible. I really hate this, talking about it this way, but I want to be really clear. I call it poking the bear. Some people call it agitating the pain point, rubbing salt in the wound. You want to make them hyper aware of their problem. And you can do that by using blog posts, all kinds of freebies, like a lead magnet, like we talked about. You can educate them about their problem by having a webinar and creating meme. I don't even know if it's meme or meme. Who knows? I'm 52. I don't know what that is. But, whatever that's called, make them. And you want to attract people. You want, them to think about their problems. You can create infographics that have a lot of data in them. And then you can also use paid ads. Now, each step of the way, you're going to be using content, right? You do not have to create that content from scratch. You can find PLR in every niche almost out there. And, as a PLR creator, if you know any PLR creators, you can also ask for them to create that type of content. When their audience asks them for it, they're going to create it because, they're going to make money off of it, right? So, and you're their audience, and your pain point is, I can't find, I don't know, PLR about whatever, about how to poke the bear. I can't find PLR, so I need that, right? So you ask those creators about that. And when you get that in front of them, they're going to create it, and then you're going to have it. So let's say you want to poke the bear a little bit about somebody, say they need to lose weight. Maybe they're only trying to lose that last 20 pounds, right? We want to get really down in the nitty gritty. So we go look for PLR blog posts or PLR articles or even an ebook, depending on the rules of the PLR. You want to follow all those rules. Say you find an ebook about losing that last 20 pounds. You don't have to use it as the ebook most of the time. You can break it down into blog posts. Each individual section of the book can become a blog post. The whole book can become a freebie. The whole book can become an educational webinar about how to lose that last 20 pounds. Parts of that book can become memes for social media. The data from that book can become an infographic. And then you can use different portions of that in your paid ads. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Stacy says that you have a really great explanation of a sales funnel going here. So
oh, good. Good. I'm not used to doing it this way at feedback. Pressure not having any feedback because I can't see the chat. The second stage, of the buyer's journey we talked about is interest. And this is sort of part of awareness. Once they know they have that problem, then they start getting interested in potentially evaluating and looking at the different types of ways they can deal with their problems. So we'll go back. I'm only using weight loss because it's so easy, but it works with any niche. Like for me, I'm a writer. So one of the ways that, I poke the bear, as you would say, is I may talk about how much time it takes you to create all of your content. Don't you want it automatic? Don't you want to be sleeping while somebody else is doing all that work for you? that type of thing. So you want to, again, it's the same thing, you know, ebooks, white papers, webinars, reports, videos, reviews, checklists, but it can all be created from the same thing. You don't have to create everything from scratch. You can, like a white paper, if you don't know, is basically something that it talks about the problem and the different solutions available. But when you're creating the white paper yourself, of course, you're going to highlight your own solution, right? So, you know, the white paper kind of leads them to that direction. A webinar, just like this webinar right here, you know, this content I'm using right now, I've used in different ways many times. I just have it all available, and then I put it together based on the audience that I'm going to be talking to, because I want you to learn, since you're going to be using PLR, I want you to learn how important it is to think about that buyer and their journey. And that's why, you know, I keep repeating it over and over. It's because that's how you're going to learn, and that's how your audience is going to learn. And it's not boring to them usually, hopefully. So don't worry about repeating yourself in the different types of content that you use, because that's, you know, how they're going to learn, and that's how they're going to keep coming back to you. Go ahead. Did you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to say that's, hey, I didn't realize that you could see me unmute myself. That's pretty cool. No, I was just going to say that, you know, one of the big things about content is people absorb things in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, right now over at USPLR, we're creating our signature webinar based
Mm-hmm.
on why people use PLR. And one of our examples is like how people use PLR in real life. And
Mm-hmm.
we were thinking of like house flippers. I mean, you think about it, they take this really rundown house and they make it their own, and they add their own style, and they add their own features, and then they resell it and people make a killing doing it. So
right. And you know what, sometimes people feel a little bit, I don't know, icky maybe about using PLR. They think it, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that say it's plagiarism, it's wrong. But let me tell you something, PLR, you know, I've been in this business for 22 years now. And in the beginning, of course, it was a little different. And but you could order through the mail. I worked for a magazine in Manhattan, Kansas called City Arts Magazine. I was a contractor. And what we could do is order content based on our audience, like from a magazine of PLR. Basically, they didn't call it that. They just called it content, you know, you can just use for your newspapers or your magazines. And we would just cut it out and paste it onto our magazine before we printed it. Same thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they even, you know, anybody in the public eye, they have speechwriters, right? And they tend to reuse their old portions of their old speeches and their old books. In a way, they're using their own PLR, you know, the stuff that they've created. Because like I created this, but at this point, I created it so long ago that it's sort of like PLR, because I'm just reusing it and making it better, and, you know, just making it stand out better and putting more of my personality into it, right?
Yeah,
So
your own
same
stories
thing.
and
Right.
making it unique.
So the third stage of your buyer's journey is consideration. So this is when you really want to stand out. You know, why should they pick you? They already know they have a problem. You're on their radar. They've got your lead magnet maybe. They're following you on social media. They're on your email list. They come to your webinars. They know you exist. So now is your chance to really show your personality. But you're still going to use the same content that you're purchasing on PLR, but you're going to add more of your own personality into it. So say that, you know, your niche is cooking vegan food, and you want people to buy your recipe book ultimately, or use your coaching, right? So you're going to purchase PLR that works in these different ways that could be transformed into a demonstration about how to cook a real easy lunch that's vegan. You're going to maybe do that on a live YouTube show, or you're going to record it and put it on YouTube, or even Facebook Live now, or wherever, you know, that you want to. You can find a book about why you should eat vegan food. And then you can add to that book case studies, people that you know who have, or yourself, you know, that have lost weight or got healthy or got rid of their diabetes or whatever, using, you know, eating vegan food. So that's a way to make it your own, right? You're going to collect testimonials. Put in your funnel your email autoresponder system. I don't care if you're a service provider, if you sell products, or what you do, make it part of your autoresponder system to send out a request for a testimonial. Give them enough time, you know, to have looked at your product. You should also be prompting them along the way to be using that product, right? Asking them questions like, hey, how's it going? Do you like the book? Have you been reading the book? You know, things like that in your emails. And then eventually you want to collect those testimonials, and that's going to really help you with your sales pages, because you can use those. You can also use those testimonials. You can turn them into a case study. You can use them in so many different ways, right? You can add them to that PLR to make it your own and let them know why they should pick you. You're going to make that PLR seem completely original to you, because it is, because you're using your personality. You're also going to want to, if they haven't bought your main product yet, you may want to give them some comparisons with some charts, which might require you to open up, you know, your Word or your Excel or whatever program you use and cut and paste some information into a chart that you got from PLR, right? And, you know, add your own images, make it look pretty. Same with infographics. All infographics are is data with pictures that get the audience's attention, right? So any blog post or book or PLR chart that you've got that has data, you can turn into an infographic using Canva really easily. So that's going to get their attention, so they consider you and understand why they want to pick you. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm going to be putting, we have a use PLR for social media images, and that's got a bit of a Canva tutorial for you guys.
Oh, good.
So, and that's a freebie. So I'm going to go ahead and get that link for you guys in the chat box.
I have a graphic designer, but I'm not gonna lie, I did my covers last minute last night. And just because I wanted it to be special for the group. And I used Canva. It's so easy. I got the picture off Pixabay or whatever that's called, and then I used Canva.
I love Canva. Canva, Pixabay, and eCover Authority. Those are all my go-tos.
Yeah, it's so easy.
So real quick before we continue, some of my folks are having some problems getting the show notes.
Huh. I can, I have them in my email. I can forward them to you.
That would be great. That would be great. So guys, yeah, we'll get those to you after, or
you should just be able to click the image though. I did it on my phone.
Yeah, I can do it too, but I've got some folks are saying they can't see the image, and some folks are saying that they.
That's weird.
Yeah,
gotta love technology.
Oh, I know, right? So fun.
Yeah. All it is a copy of this PowerPoint slides with 3 on a page, and then Rachel can. I guess she has everybody, so she can send it to you.
Or yeah, I'll work on it, guys.
You can also email me at Barrypub, BARRYPUB at barrypublishing.com, and just say I need the show notes, and I can send them to you as well. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry about it. Technology's fun. So yeah, we'll keep working on that, guys, and I'll get the link for that free social images report too for you guys in the chat box. So I'll go ahead and mute myself and let you finish doing what you do.
So finally, we're at the 4th stage. You know, we're 26 minutes into this. You know, we're still on step 1. So the 4th stage of your buyer's journey is they're going to make a decision. And this is when they've joined your list. They probably come to a webinar. It depends on how expensive, whatever you're selling is and how long it takes them to make a decision. it probably, when they made a first decision to join your email list, that was one conversion, right? When they made another decision because you promoted your Facebook page in an email to them, they made that decision to convert to your list. Maybe, you know, they've made a lot of decisions before they get to the big old decision to buy your you know, big product, your signature product, right? But at every part of this, you want to make them feel like they're super smart, because they are. You know, they found you, they've determined that you really know your stuff, and you want to make them feel smart by, you know, making it simple for them as well. Unfortunately, it's not always simple because of technology of what we see here. You know, with some people can get the notes, some people can't. These things happen. You know, don't stress about it too much. This is just the nature of technology. But in your email autoresponder, you know, you definitely want to tell them thank you. You want to tell them that there's congratulations for joining my list. You know, maybe instead of thank you, how about congratulations, you've made a really good decision to join my list. Now here's some more content for you, and offer them some training. And you can, again, repurpose that PLR you bought into training. Any kind of how-to book is training. It's just training waiting to happen. You could put it on Teachable. If you're more technically inclined than I am, you could probably use some other kind of program. I use Teachable. I really like it a lot. It's super easy. You can take any PLR book as long as the licensing allows it. So again, read the license, and you could break that up into a course and put it on Teachable. You can, as you keep going, you're going to get more examples that you can use, that you can add into all that PLR. You know, you're going to get examples from people that tried what you said, and they're going to be like, wow, I did what you said. And, you know, I added 100 people to my list in 2 days. When they say that to you, you say, can I quote you? And you get a quote. You write that down, put their name, add it to your, you know, arsenal of examples. You're going to want to make user guides. If you have a product that is, especially software, you're going to want to make user guides. But even if you're, say, promoting a special diet, like we said earlier, vegan, just think about how many different kinds of vegan diets there are out there. There's high carb, low fat vegan, there's raw vegan, there's, you know, paleo vegan. So you're going to want to make a user guide, but that you can use the initial book, though, that you already gave them, to make the user guide a little bit more in-depth and better. And then, you know, recorded webinars, and offer them one-on-one help. All one-on-one help should be expensive, though, I really believe. And I'm not very good at doing that. I love to help people, so sometimes I'm not expensive, but I like doing it. But try to, you know, these things get more and more expensive along the way. So if you are a coach and you're giving all this content, you're selling ebooks, you're giving webinars, when they get to that one-on-one help, try to make that more expensive so you can help more people. I think are there any more questions? Because I can see the chat blinking.
No, we don't have any questions right now. I did just send everybody our our report, and I downloaded your notes and sent them that file too. So
yay, okay. So here we're at the 5th stage of your buyer's journey. Finally, this is step 1 of using your PLR and your funnel. And it's just the most important, because your customers are the most important thing ever. You know, a lot of businesses have lost that fact. You know, if you go to stores in person now, a lot of times you're just not treated very well. But online, you know, it's too easy. They can just unsubscribe. They can block you. That, you know, so once they become a customer, and I don't mean just because they bought something from you, if they converted at all, freebie, following you on Facebook or whatever, it's time for you to, you know, up their happiness factor about being around you, about buying your products. And it starts, you know, the minute they get on your list, it starts the minute they're a customer. The reason I have an upside down funnel is once they've converted and they are a customer, I like to look at it as an upside down funnel, because, you know, the smallest part of the other funnel is once they've purchased, right? So now you really just want to give them more content, actually. You want to provide excellent customer service. If you're getting really busy, you need to hire somebody to help you with that customer service. Get volunteers to help you with your Facebook group. so you can keep the spam at it. Because, you know, once a Facebook group gets over about 1,000 members, you know, it gets really hard. Ask your group, ask your converted buyers, ask them for feedback on your product automatically. Put it in your autoresponder. Send them surveys. Offer them more training. This is a great thing to do. If you have a bunch of people on your list, which you can check in your, you know, system, the stats. If you have people on your list that bought your product, but they're not opening your emails, why not? Maybe they don't know how to use your product. Maybe they've been depressed and they haven't opened the book at all, and they're still overweight, you know, or whatever, you know, your niche is. Offer more training. Put that in the, you know, headline of your email. You know, I noticed you haven't opened my emails. What's wrong? You know, something like that. Get their attention. You want them to purchase again. So start thinking about what they might like that somebody else has made. This is where you can get into affiliate marketing. And with affiliate marketing, you can still use PLR again to promote other people's products and make a lot of money.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That's genius too.
Yeah. You know, once you have sold to them, even if you only have one product, once you've sold to them, you can sell to them again. Ultimately, I think, you know, you should try to get them into some kind of continuity program that's got a monthly fee or coaching if you're comfortable with that. But a very, very hands-off way is to sell other people's coaching and other people's things. Like I can tell you right now, Kelly, and I don't even have an affiliate link for it, but Kelly McCoskey had a program, I don't know if she still does, but about she will look into your hard drive and find all your PLR that you haven't used and make you use it. And I think you do that, don't you?
I actually don't, but Kelly is one of my coaches, so yeah. I should talk to her and I should start doing that.
You should promote that program, yeah, because she'll make you use it.
That's great.
Yeah. So finally, we're at step 2, and I'll try to go through these a little faster because that is the most important, you know, but, you know, and even the other steps, you know, go through this buyer's journey idea because you're going to choose content based on their place in their journey. But the other aspect is that you want to know the purpose of the content. So where are they in the journey? Are they still trying to get awareness of their problem? Do they know they have a problem? Figure out where they are and then figure out what that goal is for that content. So the goal may be to educate them. The goal may be to rub salt in the wound and make them worried. The goal may, which sounds terrible, but you're not really hurting people because you're really doing them a favor. You know, if they really do have this problem, you know, say they're very unorganized and you teach people to be organized. You're doing them a favor by teaching them all the problems they're causing in their own lives about being unorganized. You know what I mean? You're doing them a big favor. So, but you also need to know what the purpose of the content is from, you know, your end. So again, where are they? Are they just learning? Do they even know they have a problem? Have they identified the problem? You know, where are they? And, you know, really know that before you even go out and look for the content. And of course, always look in your hard drive first because you probably already have a lot of it. So let's recap real quick. Step 1, awareness, interest, consideration, decision, happiness. Make sure you just memorize this because it's really important. And every time you sit down to create content and find that PLR, ask yourself, where are they in their journey and how can you match this content to their intent? What is your buyer's intent? So the other aspect that's really important is your own goal, right? Do you want them to get on your email list? You know, are you going to educate them? Is it time to make a decision? Is it time to just finally make a decision? Because, you know, sometimes you're going to get, say you have people on your list that never open the email. It costs you money to have these people on the list, right? So you need to think, okay, these people have converted because they're on my list. They've and you can, you know, really segment it down. You can say they've got a freebie and they're all, you know, a certain segment, or they're customers that never open. Which one are they? What decision do they need to make, right? And then you can focus that content right there. If they've already purchased, say they've just purchased, they've had your product for a week, but you haven't seen any kind of feedback online or anything about them, you can set them an alert in Google Alerts so you can find out if anybody says anything about you. And it may be bad sometimes and it may be good. But you know what? If you get bad comments, sometimes that's a good thing because that means you're getting popular. Because once you get popular, people hate on you. So that's always good. So step 3, finally, find the content for the place in their journey. And I know it feels like I'm repeating myself, but because I am, I want you to understand that that place in their journey is your most important thing. And it'll help you repurpose the content, for the right thing. You want to do it for the right way. You don't want to just create content with no goal, no purpose, or no idea what the intent of the person that's going to read it is, right? You want to know exactly every step of the way. So let's look at some repurposing examples. I have, mentioned it throughout I tend to talk about things before that I get to slides. So we've talked about repurposing before, and we've talked about, getting an ebook and breaking it up into articles. You can even say you have an article that you bought that has 10 points for why you should use Aweber, and you're trying to promote Aweber. Each of those points can be a whole separate blog post if you expand on it, right? Each of those points, you can take the data out and it could be a meme. Each of those points could be a short YouTube video. Plus the longer version could be, all 10 points, right? You can take those points and find somebody in your community that has done that thing and add their story to it, right? You can take it and turn it into a webinar. Like this, after I'm done here, I'll probably make a blog post that's shorter than this presentation that kind of goes over everything, right? I should have done that before, but we are very busy here in this house right now. You can turn everything into an e-course, and actually this is going to become an e-course after, I perfect it and keep presenting it, right? So everything that you do can continually be used again and again. Even when something comes outdated, you can update it with the new technology and keep using it. Finally, you don't want to do all that work without actually publishing the content, right? And I know we all have fears. Believe it or not, right now I'm sweating and I am nervous. I am an introvert. I don't really like to be the center of attention.
Stephanie.
It makes me nervous, but I'm doing it anyway. I've been in this business, for 22 years, but a lot of people haven't heard of me because I'm just behind the scenes all the time. I have worked with a lot of people that aren't behind the scenes, but I was comfortable there. I've ghostwritten books that, you probably have read, but I can't tell you because I have a non-disclosure agreement, right? But I was comfortable doing that. I enjoy it. I like writing. So it's great. But once you really know what your audience wants and you know where they are and what their goals are in life, it's so much easier because then you feel like you're doing good. I feel like I'm doing good because once I've figured out what I'm really doing and what I'm good at, it's easier. It really is. It's a lot easier. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're not.
I'm thinking though, maybe it's the same way for you. I know for me, once you do that thing that kind of really scares you, and it kind of becomes your new norm, then it's less intimidating. Like these webinars, I made this just as much for myself as I did for you guys because I was like, I need a way to connect with my people on a regular basis, and I don't want to do webinars. I don't want to speak in front of people at all. But then we started doing it, and I've been getting a lot of great feedback from it. So I mean, I just really encourage you, get your content out. Alice Seba says this great thing. She says, put it out, you can change it later.
Yes, exactly. Just make sure you've done that research, and at some point though, even though I've talked a lot about getting to know your audience's intent and all of those things, I don't want to get you into this over learning mode either though, because you don't want to keep learning and never implement. that's a dangerous place to be, because you need to implement, if you purchase PLR, I think it should be up pretty quickly, a week or two. I don't think it should be sitting around your hard drive for a month or more, because it's going to get out of date, and you're going to have to update it again and again anyway. So you might as well get it out there and test it and see if it works or not, you know. But it does help you improve if you understand where your customers are, where your potential customers are in their buying cycle, and where they're at. You know, I always tell people to make a audience persona. You know, I'll call it the audience of one, and you know, create a picture of your audience in your mind so that you know who they are, so you can study them and figure out where they are. You know, when you send out any email, whether you wrote it or whether it's PLR, you want to make sure it's going to the right people and that they're seeing it, because otherwise, you know, what's the point? And of course, when you publish anything, you need to promote it. This webinar, for example, if Rachel had not promoted it, if you know, we didn't share it around, nobody would come. We would just be sitting here talking to ourselves, right? And sure, we'd have a recording, but it's nice to have people here live too. So promote your content as if it's your most expensive. You know, Kelly McCloskey told me this one time, you know, act like it's your most expensive product. Promote it. When you create an email, you don't have to only leave it in your email. You can turn it into a blog post. You can turn it into a social media post. You know, you can put it on your site. You can turn it into a paid ad, a webinar, you know. But if you don't promote yourself, you're not going to succeed. And I don't mean to be, you know, harsh, but you just won't. And I've been failing for years, so I know. I've been great behind the scenes, but it's taken me a lot of years to come out of my shell.
It does take a bit of effort to kind of get into that mode of, you know, when you first get into any kind of business, I guess, you're kind of like, why, what makes me so special? And it, not necessarily you, Stephanie, but, you know,
I know
I went through that. And it takes like kind of a big gulp and a leap of leap of faith, and
right,
you know, for you to kind of get in that momentum.
Right. And you just have to test things out, because, you know, one thing that works for someone else really well may not work for you. Maybe your anxiety is too high. I'll tell you one thing that people do that I can't do, but it is a good idea anyway. And that is live courses. I had mentioned earlier that this will become a course, but I could never have said this was a course already and then charge people for it and had them come to it live. Plenty of people do it and they do it well, and, you know, more power to them. And I'd probably make more money if I did that, but I can't. It makes me too nervous. I like to perfect it and take too long getting it out there. But, you know, make sure, you know, you're promoting yourself, because that's important. Promote all your content. And we're finally at the last step, you know, which is to repeat. Once you've got your customer, anything that you've done, you repeat it, because people might not see it the first time. Say you wrote a blog post a month ago about something that's still relevant. There's no reason you can't share it again. There's no reason you can't promote it again. There's, I think it's called missing letter, and at the end it's LETTR, the last E is missing. You can set that up to automatically randomly share old blog posts into your social media. And, you know, that works really well for things that are more evergreen. But, you know, once you've converted people, whether they purchased or they got a lead magnet, you really want to keep them happy. And you want to basically, I say you're doing it all over again. You're just rinsing, you're repeating, but you're changing it up a little bit. You know, you want to make sure they're getting the right content at every stage of the buying cycle, in every part of your funnel. So that was the presentation, and I could get back in the chat and post these links in a minute. But so I'd love for you to get the free ebook. If you have problems, again, you can. I did send Rachel the link earlier, so she can always just email you the ebook, because I don't ask you. I would like for you to sign up for my email newsletter if you want to, by going to Berry Publishing, and it's under every blog post and on the right side of the group. And don't remember if you get a free book or not right now. I really don't. But you are getting a free book anyway. And it goes over the same thing we talked about a little bit, but it is a little, there's only 3 steps in this one. So it's a different way to look at it, I guess, a little bit. You can also join my group on Facebook called Monthly Content Helpers. And basically, like recently we did a 30-day content challenge that was fun. I had to write a brand new blog post every day. So you can find me in all these places. I will post all these links in the chat in a minute, just so you can join if you want to. But I really appreciated you having me, Rachel. And if there's any questions, I think we have a little bit of time left. And I'm fine with being on the video.
Yeah, Stephanie is braver than me, guys. I know some of you know that I took a topple and I haven't been in my office and I kind of look like a cave woman. But yeah, Stephanie is definitely braver than me. So what are you guys thinking? I did just send you guys the link to Stephanie's free ebook that you get for just for attending today. No sign up required, because she's awesome like that.
I also really want to, I told Rachel earlier I was going to share this link. There is an event that I'm going to be at in Atlanta. Yes. On my birthday, by the way, August 10th, it starts, and it's called Exposure and Profit. And it really is all about content, using content. So if you are interested in learning more about using content and hearing a bunch of great speakers, at least go to the sales page there that you can link to and read about it at least, because, you know, I used to not want to go to live events, and Kelly's events are just wonderful. She gives you, it's not hard sales, you know. I don't know if you've ever been to events where they just like embarrass you in front of everybody and they sell. You know, you don't feel that way. You feel like you've met your tribe. You feel like you've met your best friends, and everybody's just really welcoming and loving and caring, and they want you to succeed, and you learn so much. And like I said, I've been doing this 22 years, but every time I go, I come away not only with clients because I'm a service provider, but I come out of there with new energy and information to, you know, put into my business. I mean, it's so worth it. And it's my birthday.
Yes. It's so funny, isn't it? Because today is my birthday. And I think we may have talked about this before. Yeah, thank you. How your birthday is then and my birthday is today. 2 awesome things happening on both of our birthdays.
I know. It's just, life is great. And I'm going to overwhelm the chat right now because I'm going to put a bunch of links in there. I just, you can click through. I think there's a title under each one, like all the Facebooks are together, everything's all together. So that works out really good. I don't know what happens if I turn my video on, but I'm going to turn it on.
There you are. I can see you.
Yeah. So, you know, does anybody have any questions? I think I can see the chat now. So if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, guys, Stephanie does this all the time. She's much smarter than I am in regards to this. So this is like the great.
But this is what I do for my clients. So, you know, it's really, it's so amazing when you know, build out your funnel. The great thing about a funnel, you know, it's really simple. It sounds overwhelming sometimes because you can have, you know, a really deep and wide funnel. You know, you can have a crazy amount of upsells and downsells and cross sells and all those things, but you just set up one thing at a time, you know. So it's really not that hard once you learn how to use it. And I highly recommend using some kind of software to help you.
Oh, we do have one question that came in from Jan. Can you address the cost for a course online?
Do you mean like a course that you create, how much you should charge? Okay. I really think you should try to charge it, depending, you know, how big it is. I really think you should try to charge at least $100. I know that some people think it sounds like a lot, but you know, a lot of work does go into putting things together for a course. So I sort of feel like making it worth $100 is a really good idea, you know, to make it worth somebody going. That doesn't mean you have to charge $100 all the time. You can give a discount if you want to, but I've seen people charging, you know, $36 a course, but I try to go, Teachable has a lot of training on that. And they really do suggest that you make all your courses at least $100.
Like maybe that $97 magic
Yeah.
number kind of thing.
Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, Jen, I apologize if I'm thinking differently, but
That's good.
I do think it's important to note that there's a lot of meat that goes into courses, which is good, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely more than, you know, the planners that we release that use PLR, those little 20, it's definitely more than that. That's
Mm-hmm.
a course is much more in depth, and typically it will give them access to you to a certain degree as well.
Right.
So yeah,
So
there's.
I wouldn't, I'm not going to put a course out for under $100 myself. So that's why I started that. But certainly there are courses that are really great that are less than that. I think Kelly puts out some things that are less, and her stuff, I swear, I tell her all the time, and her material is, you know, I have a master's degree, and I told her some of that stuff is better than the things I studied in college getting my master's degree.
Yeah, if you guys don't know Kelly, you should go to Love People Make Money. She's awesome. She's really great. Hey, so blogs. So you starting a blog. I recommend, are you talking about like programs? Like I recommend WordPress for starting a blog. It's the easiest.
Are you asking me? Oh yeah.
I've got Stacy here.
Oh, okay. Yes, definitely use self-hosted WordPress. I mean, I really can't see any reason to use anything else. And a lot of people don't realize there's a difference, because sometimes if you say WordPress, then they go to WordPress.com. But use self-hosted WordPress. Is not that expensive, and it actually is very simple to use. If you certain hosts like web hosts will load WordPress for you. You know, so it's not hard. I mean, how much does it cost now to get a domain name? Like $12?
Oh gosh, yeah, if that. I mean, you usually can get a really good deal in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all this fun
yeah.
HostGator stuff that you can do, or backend stuff. But yeah, if you guys do any of that stuff and you ever have questions, feel free to shoot me an email, because even though I'll tell you I am not the best tech, I know people who can get the job done. So I can definitely
I know.
It's in the right direction.
It's really, you know, we all make things harder than they are. I do it. Every time I build a website with WordPress, sometimes I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to use a whole different theme that I never saw before. I'm going to get this up by tomorrow. No, you know, so, you know, basically I suggest finding a theme that you really like, that feels easy for you, that looks good, and just keep using that. And then that way it'll be faster. But yeah, self-hosted WordPress, I wouldn't use anything else. And then don't try to be too original. Get a theme, and don't try to change it too much. Like, get a theme that allows you to manipulate it in an easy way, that looks the way you want it, that you can brand it the way for your business. But, you know, you don't have to do everything from scratch. I mean, that's what we're talking about using PLR. There's no reason to do everything from scratch.
Janet wants to know if you ever refresh your courses.
Yes. Yeah. If it depends, you know, like if it's about something that, you know, I have like a free mindset course. I don't change that one. Probably should, because, you know, but you should update them eventually. It just depends on how evergreen it is, or how, you know, because if you're giving a course about how to, say you did a course about building, you know what A Member is? It's a membership site software, right? So if you had made a course about that, it's going to change. So you're going to have to update it. But if you had a course about how to lose weight using I keep using this example, like a high carb, low fat diet, that's never changing, right? So you don't have to change that as much, but you might want to go in and refresh images as the technology gets better, and things like that.
You could even like make it into different formats also.
Yeah.
Like get an MP4 out of that, or
Yep.
Create how-to checklists, make them fast action bonuses just to kind of give your course like a little bit of new life. Do you agree, Stephanie?
Yeah. I think you should, whenever, especially if you're going to, relaunch something, you should always add something new. Say the first time you do the course, you don't have hardly any testimonials or any of that. Of course, once you get testimonials, you're going to add that to that. You're going to add case studies. You're going to get feedback. So you're going to want to change things based on feedback. Maybe somebody didn't understand something that you put in the course and it gave you an idea to improve it. So definitely when you get feedback, and definitely as you get testimonials, you want to add all that in there.
So let's see, do we have any other questions for Stephanie while we have her here? Oh, you're welcome, Janet.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come. I loved it.
I'm really glad that you came. I know that I've been like talking to people about this for weeks because I just get so darn excited when I when I have somebody coming that I know is really going to help my crew here. Oh, Jill, you have a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's going to be a replay available. If you are a member of the Use PLR site, you'll be looking for that replay in your email tomorrow. The other thing you can do is go over to facebook.com/Use PLR. If you like that page, we should be putting the replay up over there as well. All right. Where do you store the things that are going to be downloaded? Oh, I think this is a good S3 question, maybe?
You should use something like Amazon S3. I didn't for this, which is maybe why it's not working for everybody, because it overloaded the server. Because I just used my normal server, but I would use something like Amazon S3, or sometimes like if you use, say, JVZoo or A-member. Well, with A-member, you're going to use, Amazon S3. But anyway, like say you use JVZoo, or I can't think of any of, but a platform that delivers your digital things. Yeah, like a lead mag. If you had a lead magnet and you put it for free, say on JVZoo or PayHip, or any of our eJunkie, some of the things that allow you to upload the freebie or the product to their server. You can do that too. But technically, if you're doing it on your own site, I should have put it on Amazon S3.
And Jill, if you are unfamiliar with S3, I have a horrible time with S3, but that's where a VA really comes in handy. And Stephanie can help you hook up with a VA, I'm sure, if you need some assistance.
Yes, it will protect it. It does protect it from people downloading it. Exactly. And like in a couple of days, I will probably take the stuff off of my website that I gave you guys for free. I just stuck it up there for now, so I'm not going to leave it up there permanently. And then it'll probably end up as part of my course in Teachable. So, you know what I mean? So since it was just for today, and I thought, maybe, 20, 30 people, I didn't think it would be a big deal. I learned my lesson. Next time I'll probably put it on S3. But and it's really not hard once you learn it. I mean, but I do have help. So
yeah, I had a bear of a time learning it too. So I had a VA, and I said, hey, can you tell me the steps and write them down for me and give them to me, so that even if you're not my VA in a year, I still have the ability to do this.
Well, since I was such a last minute person, I didn't want to ask anybody to do it for me last minute. And they changed. I was good at using S3 until they changed it. and now I don't know where anything is. So that's a problem sometimes. But I could have also put it in JVZoo for free, you know, or eJunkie for free. You would have had to sign up then. But, you know, there's lots of ways to do that. That's easy. It's super easy to use eJunkie. I don't remember how big the files can be, but I've used eJunkie for a long time. I'm starting to learn JVZoo. So, yeah, you can put a freebie on JVZoo. I mean, I haven't done it, but I think you can. But you can also use PayHip or eJunkie or Downloads with a Z. There's a whole bunch of them that let you upload it.
SSL certs. Janet wants to know if we have SSL certificates on all of our sites. I personally do.
Yep.
And I'm sure Stephanie does.
Right. I use MomWeb, so they automatically added it to everything. I didn't really have anything to do with it.
Oh, that's nice.
So they, you know, they did it for me. So I started using MomWebs years ago because I was using something else, and they kept every time I needed help, you know, it was just so hard. But with MomWebs, you know, they're very small, so you know that's always a risk too, having a small company working with you. But for somebody like me that doesn't have a clue most of the time what I'm doing, I'm very dangerous. I broke my sites at 2 a.m. and emailed and got it fixed, you know. But this is my link for MomWebs if you want to check them out. I don't even know if that works because I haven't shared it for a while, but they will load WordPress for you if you don't know how to do that. And then all you have to do is go to your sign-on and you can start manipulating WordPress. But, you know, do read some things about WordPress, though, if you haven't used it, because you do need to put security in there and stuff. And, you know, Rachel may have some information about that type of thing.
The SSL certs, I have to say, I think that if you guys are looking to do something like that, you may opt to use Stephanie's link as opposed to myself. And I'm going to tell you why. My son always teases me because every time I say a statement, I'm always like, I'm going to tell you why. But the reason being because I use HostGator, and for me, they've always worked really well. However, when those SSL certs come up, I have to get in touch with my tech in a timely manner, and he has to get in touch with HostGator. There's all these keys and codes and things that are done, and things are done in the back end with the files. And last year, I didn't get in touch with my tech in time, and I actually had to do it myself with HostGator, and that was a big blah. So just the thought of having a hosting company that will do it for you.
Yeah,
nice.
That's why I like MomWebs, because I don't think you can call them for customer service, which some people bother. You may be able to now. I could be wrong, but it's never bothered me. I like emailing people, and they answer very quickly. I cannot even believe sometimes how quickly I get help. I'm telling you, broke my own site at 2 a.m., emailed, you know, like did a ticket through email. I didn't have to even sign on. I just went to email and sent them an email, and I was answered in 30 minutes, and they said my site's fixed now.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know their rates, but I do believe they're very reasonable.
And they will move you too. Like if you use a different host, they have move-in service, and I think at least it's free for one. Don't quote me on that because, you know, that could have changed, right? But check it out, because that's what they moved all my sites. At the time I was building websites, so I bought their service where I can still host other people. And I had, you know, I don't remember how many websites, 30 maybe. They moved them all for me, and everything worked.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Quick too. Yeah,
they
have the best customer service. You know, Kelly McCausey owns that.
Yeah, that's where I had first heard of it. I never made the jump myself. She has the
very best customer service ever. I mean, it is amazing. And sure, you know, people are crazy when they think no websites ever go down. It happens. Very rarely though, but you know, it does happen. But with them, because they are smaller, I think they can give you so much more personalized service and help you better, you know.
That's great. So you guys, if you are looking for information on SSL or S3 or MomWebs, or especially getting a VA, if you have anything that you need, let me know. Rachel@useplr.com. Reach out to me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/useplr. And if you want information on hooking up with a VA, Stephanie, do you have an email that you'd feel comfortable giving everybody if they?
Yeah. I'll just type it in here.
And one of the things Steph is really great at is she has awesome VAs that she. I don't do you train them?
I have a VA group on Facebook, and I do have a course, but every Thursday we have a meeting. I don't allow non-VAs in the group, but I will post jobs if you send them to me. So I'm going to just give you my Gmail email.
Jill wants to know how much VAs cost. It really depends. And Stephanie, I know you have a little bit more experience here, so please correct me if you hear something that doesn't jive with you. But so for my VA, I am a regular customer and I pay just under $100 for X amount of hours. And so if it depends, like I only have a certain number of things that need to be done, but if I needed more things done, then she always has the ability to adjust her price. So I mean, I really think there's like a bit of a trial and error. I mean,
you need to know what you want before you go out looking for a VA too. You really need to know exactly what you want them to do. And if you need tons of things done, you might want to hire a company too, a project manager that has a lot of VAs under them. But if you just want specific tasks done, you can hire individual. I suggest always offering at least $15 an hour. I don't allow ads that are under $15 an hour. But most of the time it's going to be so much less than you thought it was going to be, because it takes that off of your plate. And once I started outsourcing some things, my income doubled. So I don't even consider it an expense anymore. I consider it an investment.
Yeah, it really, really is. And it's like Stephanie said, as long as you know what you want done. I mean, I outsource a lot of my stuff, and the main thing I outsource right now is writing, and it's really going well.
And I'm a writer. Yeah. So I also know writers. So if you need writing done, and if you, I only write for people that need volume writing. So if anybody needs volume writing, like you are starting your own PLR company or something like that, you can go to berrypublishing.com, and that is a sales page. You could just scroll on through and set up a call with me and we can talk about it. But most contracts are at least $1,200 a month. So, and because volume.
I'm going to go ahead and put your Berry Publishing site in here. I don't know if we put it in. Did we put it in already? I'm not sure.
I did a bunch of links earlier, but it always helps to do it again.
So, do you guys have any other questions or thoughts for Stephanie while we have her?
I'm not in a hurry. This is actually my day off, so.
Ah, that's right. You work that really cool schedule. That's right. Okay, guys. Stephanie, I'm going to go ahead and reclaim the host.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is Rachel Youngson from useplr.com and wholefoodplr.com. We were talking with Stephanie Watson-Berry of Berry Publishing, and please feel free to pick up her free notes and her free gift for you today. Next week, we are going to be doing a Q&A. Ask Rachel anything about PLR next Tuesday at 1 Eastern. All right, guys, take care.